So you've booked your flights and accommodation. Now what? How do you make your travels feel super fun, memorable, and also just extra special? In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 15 ways that we've made our travels so fun, memorable, and just the best time. So you're probably thinking, who's this gal on the internet and why should I trust her to give me travel tips? Well, hello, my name is Bree. I am a flight attendant. I've worked as a flight attendant for over 6 years. I'm currently on maternity leave. I've also lived overseas and I've also traveled quite a lot with my husband, Brayden. It's so funny because I always get messages asking for like travel itineraries and ideas to do in certain places. And I thought, you know what? Let's just have a chat. Let's sit down. Welcome to my couch. Sit down as a friend. Let's just chat and let me just give you some advice on how to make your travels totally memorable. So I hope this video inspires you if you have an upcoming trip. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is cooking classes. Man, cooking classes are so freaking great. So Brayden and I, on our honeymoon, our first ever cooking class was in Bali. And I don't know what it is about like chefs or like people who cook food, but they're just like entertainers and they're funny and they just make you have a great experience. And a big part of travel is actually food. It's a universal thing, food. Everyone needs to eat. So as I mentioned, we did this cooking class in Bali on our honeymoon and it was just so fun. What were we doing? We were like mashing up spices and stuff in this huge like man-sized like cruncher thing. And then also another cooking class we did it in Rome and we did like a pasta cooking class. So I feel like if you're going to somewhere like Italy or like France, even somewhere really popular for food, it's a great thing to do. Sorry, going back to this cooking class that we did in Rome, it was just so good. We had this like professional chef who like knows how to make spaghetti from scratch, and we made like gelato, and at the end of it like you get to sit down and like eat this creation that you've made, and it's just like such a fun way to like finish the experience. They also gave us a big list of their favorite restaurants in the city and like restaurants that like not many tourists know about, so you get insider knowledge on the food and the cuisine and like what's specific in that country to eat. I'm sure that if you ask the chefs for their recommendations that they'll give you some, because obviously they're professionals, they know food and like they know what's good in the area. So cooking classes 100% would recommend. They are the best, and I would recommend doing them at the start of the trip so that you have those recommendations to go try the other places. Consider like putting your luggage in storage or traveling very light. What I mean by this is like doing something adventurous where you just take a backpack. This is probably one of the most memorable experiences that we've had. Basically, we put all our luggage in a storage compartment in Rome, and we just took backpacks down to like Positano and the Amalfi Coast, and we hired a Vespa. And if you don't know what a Vespa is, man, they're the cutest like little motorbikes, like Italian motorbikes. We hired a Vespa, we just had backpacks, and we just like toured around the Amalfi Coast and rocked up at a random hotel at night, stayed there, and then like made our way back in the morning. And I think by doing those adventurous experiences, you get to see the places in more detail, and also you get a different view on the places. For instance, like driving around the Amalfi Coast on a Vespa, like it was just incredible, and you get to like go at your own pace as well. For instance, if you're part of like a tour or something, you kind of get rushed through the sites and things like that. And another recommendation on this topic is like if you're into hiking, go on like a 2-day hike or something and just like take a backpack, put your stuff in storage, go hike like a beautiful mountain and like stay there, you know, wake up to a beautiful sunrise on the mountain. And even like just going somewhere with limited luggage is like so fun because you don't have to like have the worries about like pulling it around everywhere. You just feel so much lighter with like a backpack or like, you know, limited things. So yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that. All right, another thing that I would recommend doing is doing a walking tour. Most cities in the world have free walking tours. So Google free walking tours in your country that you're going to. You're usually with like a local guide, someone who knows the country, who lives there, who really knows the ins and outs and all the secret spots and what's most important. There's nothing better than getting recommendations from a local. Another option, specifically if you're in Europe, and my cat's come to join me. There is this audio guide called Rick Steves Audio Guide, and it's like an audio tour of all different like places in Europe. And it's basically a free app that you can download and pop it in your ears and just walk around the city. We did this all over Europe. So we did it in the Louvre in Paris, which was incredible. We also did it in Florence. We did it in Lisbon, in Portugal. We've done it like all over. And I feel like walking is like a great way to see a city. Even when I'm on like layovers and stuff, I always try to get out and just walk, because by walking, you get to just see what's around you. You get to just like stumble upon random cafes and like random things to see, trying to explore places that aren't the main tourist places. What I mean by this is like, yeah, it's great to do all the sightseeing stuff. It's fantastic to do that. Like sightseeing stuff and like the main tourist attractions, they're main tourist attractions for a reason, and usually they're incredible. But there's something fun about discovering something that's like off the beaten track and something that isn't very touristy. For instance, going back to our honeymoon in Bali, we stayed in this island off the main island of Bali called Gili Air. Don't mind my cat just licking himself on camera. Maybe I'll just have to blur that out. Yeah, we stayed on this island called Gili Air. There was no cars on the island. You literally get to places on a horse and carriage. That's how like remote and like distant it was. The beaches were pristine. They were beautiful. And the people were just so lovely, down to earth, and people really gave us a really lovely experience. Oh, this other time maybe I'll talk about this in another section, another tip as well, but this other time we went to Vanuatu and we went to this island off the main island. I forgot what it was called. Tanna Island. I feel like we were the only tourists on this whole island. There was like this volcano in the island that was like erupting every 30 seconds, and like these locals had like chickens running around, and like we got like these special like dances from the locals, and it was just like a cool experience. And what's even better about doing these experiences is you actually get to learn about the culture, which you don't necessarily get to like be so immersed in the culture when you're seeing those touristy and like sightseeing stuff. So yeah, would love doing that. Find out what foods are unique and cultural. For instance, when we went to Iceland, there's this Icelandic yogurt called skyr, and if you ever go to Iceland, you have to try it. It's just incredible. Another thing is like when we went to Fiji, we tried kava, which is like this drink that Fijians make, and it basically, I don't know, it's some sort of drug. And it like, for me anyway, it made my mouth all tingly and like made me feel like relaxed. Another thing is like the iconic 7-Eleven in Japan. Like if you go to Japan, you have to go to 7-Eleven. It's just a rite of passage at this point. So yeah, like just trying like cultural and unique foods. As I mentioned in my first tip, food is such a huge element of travel, and it's something that like makes travel so fun. Right, do some kind of observation or some sort of lookout. This really gives you a really unique perspective on the country that you're visiting. For instance, we went to New York, and of course when you're in New York, you have to go to an observation deck. And man, just being up and high in the buildings with so many buildings is like kind of a spiritual experience, and it's just beautiful seeing the country that you're visiting from a different perspective. Another instance of this was in Portugal. We went to this observation. We got to see all the beautiful houses and the architecture, and it's just like, I don't know, it just like kind of puts yourself into perspective as well, and just how small you are and how big the world is, and just how much there is to explore. Okay, consider doing a hop on, hop off bus or a river tour. This is another way to get an awesome perspective. So when I was pregnant, I was still flying and working as a flight attendant, and I had this layover in Darwin, and I only had like, I think it was like a 20-hour layover or something. So most of that I'm sleeping, and then I had some time to explore, and I was like, I really want to just like see a lot in a small amount of time. And I was pregnant as well, so I was like, what's something I can do that's like fun, and you know, if you struggle with mobility. So I decided to go on a hop on, hop off bus around Darwin, Australia, and it was so cool because I could just sit there and still be immersed in the experience. And what's cool about hop on, hop off buses as well is that usually there is an audio guide going on, or the driver's giving you some sort of tour, and you get to learn about like what's important in that particular city and what made that city what it is today. We also did a hop on, hop off bus in London because we were only there for one day, and we were like, it's our first time in London. We're here for one day. How can we see everything that we want to see? We want to see the Big Ben. We want to see the London Bridge. We want to see Tower Bridge. We want to see like all these things. We want to see the abbeys. So we did a hop on off bus, and I would totally recommend that, especially in a bigger city. Not only do you have like transport paid for, so you don't have to take like the tubes and stuff, but you also get the audio guides, and you also get direct routes to all of the major attractions. If you want to do the sightseeing stuff, this is a great way to do it. Oh, and I mentioned river cruises as well. This was really cool. We did this in New York City. We did a river cruise around the whole island of New York, like the New York City island, and oh my gosh, it was incredible. Like just seeing all the buildings from the different perspective and learning about it. And man, there's something about the tour guides. They're always just so entertaining. Trying out unique stays. We have so many good memories of like staying in incredible places. For instance, our first time in Japan, we stayed in a ryokan. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically like how they stayed anciently. Like you literally sleep on the floor. The architecture was beautiful. And we had like this onsen that we had access to. And it was just like kind of in the middle of nowhere. So we're like out of the hustle bustle of like Tokyo itself. And it was a really great cultural experience. It also came with breakfast, lunch and dinner as well. So we like had all these different cuisines that we'd never tried before. Like we had fish for breakfast, which is, you know, a fun experience. Wouldn't do that again, but like when you're in Japan, have fish for breakfast. I have such good memories of that trip. And I swear I had like the best sleep of my life sleeping in that ryokan as well. Another thing we did was in Vanuatu. Man, this was like such an experience. So I kind of talked about Tanner Island earlier. Basically, we stayed in a tree house at the base of the active volcano on Tanner Island. And from the treehouse, we could actually see the active volcano and we could hear it go off. Man, funny story about it going off though as well was like, so the place where we stayed, it was like kind of like a little farm. They had like roosters, and because the volcano was like going off throughout the night, and there was like, you could see like the red, I don't know, lava or whatever. I think the roosters thought that it was like the sun rising or something, because literally all through the night, these roosters were like going cock-a-doodle-doo, and we didn't get much sleep, to be honest. We stayed there for a couple of nights, but now we have like this funny story about like how these roosters thought this volcano was a sunrise. Anyways, and another funny story that wasn't funny at the time is that there were these rats that would... There was these rats that would come up to the treehouse because we left some food out, which is our own fault. We had these rats come up in the treehouse, and we would like hear them in the night, and me and Brayden would be like, piss off rats, and we would like try and like scare them to like go away. Anyways, we have this funny, like, I don't know, just like funny experiences now of like saying, you know, piss off rats. Unique stays are incredible, and you get freaking hilarious stories from them as well. Oh man, just like, yeah, so many stories. It wasn't funny at the time. Those rats were not funny. We did not enjoy that at the time, but now it's freaking funny. Oh, to find unique stays, you can go Airbnb, and then there's a unique stay tab. That's really cool if you want to go and find some unique stays that way. Another way is just finding something unique that looks a bit different, like a castle in England, or like, I don't know, with Nonna in Italy. Oh my gosh, how could I forget about this? When I was in Bali, I went with my friend. We stayed, I don't even know what it's called, but it was like, it was kind of like a tree house, but it was kind of like, man, I don't even know how to describe this. I hope I can find pictures for you guys, but it was basically like these huts that were like built on each other. There was like 3 kind of huts. They didn't have doors, and it was like on this rice field, and it had like communal toilets and showers and bathrooms and stuff. It might have been like kind of backpackery vibes, and we stayed on the bottom hut, and it didn't have doors, and we were like 2 girls. Looking back to it, it was probably really dangerous. Like anyone could have just like come in and like, yeah, don't be unsafe, use common sense. We were young girls with no common sense. Okay, this is kind of on the same kind of topic, but it's another tip. Try to rent an apartment that a local stays in. This really gives you a good perspective, and it gets you immersed in what it's like to actually live in that country or that city. We did this in Florence, and we stayed in this apartment. It had like a kitchen. It also had like this incredible view of the Duomo. And if you don't know what the Duomo is, it's like this incredible like cathedral in the middle of Florence, Italy. And yeah, it was just cute. And we got to live like a local for a couple of nights. And also the hosts gave us recommendations for food and like their favorite restaurants or favorite things to do and things like that. So you get to really like live like a local. And yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that and adding that to your stay. Something that we love to do is trying something that we have in our country but try it in other countries. For instance, a great example for this is McDonald's. McDonald's is all over the world and each country does it a little bit different. So whenever we travel, we always go to McDonald's just to like try it out, see if it tastes different, see if we like it better. Some places have different things on the menu. For instance, in Hong Kong, we had Macca's and we were surprised they had corn on the menu. Like instead of fries, you can get like corn. Anyways, that was so random. Yeah, it's always fun to like, try that in a different country. Another funny experience that I have, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm telling you this. So when I lived in America, that was when I was very Mormon and I worked as a tour guide, but it was like called like a Mormon mission. And so I was with one of my like companions who was also Aussie, and we were like, do you know what we really feel like? We feel like a chocolate frappe from McDonald's. Let's go get a chocolate frappe from McDonald's. And if you think about these, this is like Mormon missionaries going to get a chocolate frappe from McDonald's. Nothing bad about it. In Australia, chocolate frappes are like the best things ever. We order these chocolate frappes, we take a sip and the chocolate frappes have coffee in it. And that's like against the religion. It's pretty bad. It can stop you from going to the holy temples and things, like if you drink coffee. And so here we were, like these Mormon like missionaries who were meant to be like holy, closest to God, and we were like drinking coffee because we didn't know that in America frappes come with coffee, whereas in Australia frappes don't have coffee in them. And it was just freaking hilarious because I don't know, it was just one of those things. Anyways, if you know, you know. If you're a Mormon, you know. Funny. We repented and it was all right. All right, next thing I want to talk about is going out in nature. This is incredible. Nature is beautiful and each country has different nature. For instance, Japan, beautiful bamboo forests. You don't see that anywhere else. Well, maybe you do, but wow, incredible bamboo forests. Oh, another thing, Grand Canyon in America. Beautiful. We do not have that in Australia. Where can you see beautiful canyons like that? You get to do a beautiful hike, you know, you get to see beautiful views. I think like each country has like something incredible and something very unique and something that you don't really find anywhere else. Like Australia, incredible beaches, some of the best beaches in the world. Iceland, man, the moss. Oh my gosh, the moss is just beautiful. Glaciers, like they have these like ice floating in the water. Like even if you're like somewhere that you might think is a bit mundane, like go to a local park. That park's probably different to what you have back home. And my arm's getting sore holding this microphone. Hope the audio is good for you guys. Going to markets. Okay, markets are really cool because you can buy like local produce that is unique to that country. You can also buy like cool knickknacks and souvenirs. When Braden and I were in LA, we went to this market. I think it was called the Melrose Market, and I bought these earrings and a necklace. I've literally worn them to death and they were such good quality and they were a great little reminder of that trip. It also can be like a kind of cost-effective experience to do, to just go to a market and browse and maybe buy like a coffee or like a donut, and you get to like, you know, again, live like the locals and see the locals with their dogs. We stumbled upon this one market in Nice, France, and it was like so random and like so cool. They just had all like this unique like antique stuff. I don't know, things you just don't see in your home country. Hit up a local grocery store. This is like, it's fun to eat out and stuff, but it's also fun to like go to a local grocery store and buy local ingredients and, you know, cook it, and just see the price difference even is like interesting. And the different snacks, man, go on a snack run at a grocery store, like add that into your itinerary. Not only snacks great for like taking a plane or like transport, like you can have snacks on you. They're also great for like during the day. Sometimes you just get so exhausted from walking around. It's great to just have some snacks in your pocket. We did this in Florence. We went to a local grocery store. We bought things for breakfast, and yeah, it was just really lovely and fun. We loved it. Learning to communicate or trying to communicate with the locals. For instance, learn a few phrases. Hello, thank you, goodbye. People really light up when you try, and they really appreciate it. And you can like connect with people as well through that way. Before you go on your trip, catching a sunrise or sunset from like a special place. For instance, we woke up really early one morning in New York and we walked along the Brooklyn Bridge at sunrise. Man, incredible, beautiful. You see the sun come up from, you know, the skyscrapers, and you're walking along this beautiful bridge, and would definitely recommend that. We saw like a sunset in Rome, which was beautiful. Man, I feel like there's something magical about seeing the sun rise or set at a place that you're at. The lighting's usually really great for photos and videos as well. It's always like a grounding experience as well, seeing a sunset or sunrise. So we also did that in Japan. When we went to the bamboo forest, we watched the sunrise, and it was just incredible. Oh, in New York, we watched the sunset from an observation deck. So if you want to tick two things off, observation deck and sunset. So there's 15 things. I'm also going to give you a sneaky 16th thing because I'm feeling a bit rebellious. So swimming in a natural spot. And what I mean by this is finding like a rock pool, or finding a, you know, onsen in Japan, or a water hole, you know, somewhere like that is natural. Even swimming in the ocean, like there's something about getting in water and immersing your body in water. It just like really does something for the soul, and it's an experience being immersed in water. I think I've got so many experiences and things of this. For instance, on our baby moon, we went to far north Queensland, and we went swimming in this swimming hole. And swimming holes are cool because they're basically a pool in the middle of the forest, or in this case it was a tropical rainforest, and it was just cool just swimming in this like swimming hole. Another thing is like, obviously if you're at like an incredible place like Fiji, we went to Fiji and we went to this place called Castaway Island, and the beach, I think that was the best beach I've ever seen. It was incredible. It was the perfect temperature. The sand was so white. Oh, another experience we had with this was in Iceland. We swam in like those thermal baths, like the Blue Lagoon. Oh my gosh, incredible. So I hope these tips help you when planning a trip, and I would love you if you have tips yourself. Let's make the comment section like a little like Reddit forum-y kind of situation. What is something that you've done that has made your trips, or any stories that you have about your travels more memorable? Like share them in the comments. Let's all chat. Yeah, let's help each other out. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, if it gave you value, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and yeah, let's chat in the comments. I'll see you down there. Bye.